Man, I don't know why it always stops like that. I hate that when my phone stops like that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry for making two parts. I don't like making two parts, man. Anyways, I'll restart. So 120 provinces, and he appointed a prince to rule over each province, right? The king also chose Daniel and two others as administrators to supervise the prince and to watch out for the king's interests. Right, smart. That's what they did back in the day, right? They took the smartest and most handsomest guys and the kids, and they trained them and trained them their way into the Babylon way and all that, right? And that's how they taught them, right? But Daniel, he never, he taught them. He taught them. He through God. He interpreted their dreams and everything. He was very, very important to the king, so that's why he stuck around for a long time, right? So Daniel soon proved himself more capable than all the other administrators and princes because of his great ability. The king made plans to place him over the entire empire. Then the other administrators and princes began searching for some faults in the way Daniel was handling his affairs, right? People get jealous. People get jealous, so they're going to try to be sneaky, right? Sneaky people. Oh, freaking, I hate those sneaky people, man. Oh. All right, so Daniel handling his affairs, but they couldn't find anything to criticize. He was faithful and honest. Our holy chance of finding grounds for accusing Daniel will be a connection with the requirements of his religion, right? And they knew that. They knew Daniel was like, hey, he's not like going, like he has boundaries, he has principles, and he's not going past that, right? And they seen that, and there was no way around it, so they had to come up with a different sneaky strategy, right? So the administrator and the princesses went to the king and said, long live King Darius. We administrators, perfect prince advisors, and other officials have anonymously agreed that your majesty should make a law that will be strictly enforced. Give orders that for the next 30 days, anyone who prays to anyone, divine or human, except to your majesty, will be thrown to the lions. And yet, your majesty issues the sign this law. So it cannot be changed, and a law of the Medes and Persians which cannot be revoked. So King Darius signed the law. They pulled a fast one on him, right? He was really, really busy. They're like, here, Darius, sign this. We're going to make this new law and just sign it. So people you're the king. They should be worshiping you, Darius. So sign this. And then during the next 30 days, that's how they were going to try to get Daniel, right? So, but when Daniel learned that the law had been signed, he went home and knelt down as usual in his upstairs room with its windows open towards Jerusalem. He prayed 3 times a day, just as he had always done, giving thanks to his God, right? The officials went together to Daniel's house and found him praying and asking for God's help, right? So they went back to the king and reminded him about his law. Did you not sign a law that for the next 30 days, anyone who prays to anyone, divine or human, except to your majesty, will be thrown into the lion's den? Yes, he said, the king replied. That decision stands, and it's the law of Medes and Persians, which cannot be revoked, he says, right? Then they told the king, that man Daniel, one of the captives from Judah, is praying no attention to you or your law, and he still prays to his God 3 times a day. You know? Hearing this, the king was very angry with himself for signing the law, and he tried to find a way to save Daniel, right? He spent the rest of the day looking for ways to get Daniel out of the predicament, right? In the evening, the men went there together to the king and said, your majesty knows the accordings to the law of the Medes and the Persians, to the law the king signs can be changed, right? So at last, the king gave orders for Daniel to be arrested and thrown into the den of lions, right? And the king said to him, may your God, whom you worship, continually rescue you. Because the king loved him. He didn't want to throw. He was pissed that he had to do that, right? But he had to stick to his word, right? Now you make a word, you got to stick to it, right? So a stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed the stone with his own royal seal and the seals of his nobles, so that no one could rescue Daniel from the lions, right? Then the king returned to his place and spent the night fasting. He refused his usual entertainment and couldn't sleep at all that night, right? That's very nearly the next morning, the king hurried out of the lion's den. When he got there, he called out in anguish, Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God, whom you worship, continually able to rescue you from the lions? Daniel answered, Long live the king, my God. Sent his angels to shut the lions' mouth so that they could not hurt me, for I have been found innocent in his sight, and I have not wronged you, your majesty. The king was overjoyed and ordered that Daniel be lifted from the den. Not a scratch was found on him because he had trusted in his God. Then the king gave orders to arrest the men who had maliciously accused Daniel. He had them thrown into the lions den along with their wives and children. And the lions leaped on them and tore them apart before they even hit the floor of the den. And we just got to watch, guys, who we try to fool around with, or even treat. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people have been through, and we don't know what people are capable of. So treat people with respect and dignity, right out there, and don't judge a book by its cover, right? Right. Love you guys. So, Lord God, we just thank you for your amazing, amazing word, Lord, and how beautiful you are in protecting us in the lion's den each and every day as he roams around searching who he may devour. Lord God, but you already won that victory, and you who lives in us is greater than he who lives in this world. So we just thank you for another beautiful